Hey,
live. We
Selena said,
live.
being a fan of this show on the East Coast takes some dedication. Shout out to everybody on the East Coast that tune in with us, man, especially when we on CP time like this. You feel me? But hey, man, better late than never.
Nah, shit. PT time, parenting time.
Hey,
Know how that shit go.
went to a
You know what I'm
wedding today,
saying?
man. And when you got home from the wedding, I had to put the kids down. You feel me? And it took a little longer than I would like it to, but we made it though. We made it.
Yeah, man. We here.
Hey,
This the chop up.
what was the Monday night game tonight? What was the Monday night game
The
tonight?
Oh,
Bills, the Titans. The Titans won the game.
First who?
The
the
Bills.
Bills.
The Bills lost at the end of the game. At the
Josh
very
Allen
end,
got
Josh
stopped at the
Allen.
So
fourth
the
and
Bills
short.
are no longer so they're no longer undefeated then, right? They were undefeated, right?
The Bills were never undefeated. I think the only undefeated team left is the Cardinals. But uh, the Bills, I think, are only down like one or two games. Maybe this is their second game down. But
Yeah, this is only their second game.
I know we not a
Uh,
serious podcast. I'm just curious though, based off of what y'all seeing from these Titans with the new Julio Jones and shit like that. They pretenders or they, you know what I'm saying? Pretenders or you feel me? We you know what I'm saying? We feel like they can make it.
hey man, hey, Tannehill.
Texas A&M.
That's all. Hey, we'll see. Like
I yeah,
that's what
Kevin.
it come down to.
I see on your
Uh,
comments.
Hey, yeah, shout
Kevin
out.
said congratulations on the Wu-Tang gear.
Are we talking about the ringer?
You know what I'm
Yeah, I don't know
saying?
what's
Matt away, Depot in the building. What's good with y'all? Y'all say what's up, everybody else. Y'all see how it go. Shout out to everybody that joined before that was waiting. Nothing but love for all of y'all. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's the Chop Up Show. We about to get it in. Marco in the building. We about to get it in. More dialogue tonight. I'll say this before the show gets started. We got a lot of smoke. You know what I'm saying over the course over the course of this last week, uh, because of some things that were discussed on the show. Uh, it was a lot of conversation. You know what I mean, about some of the takes, specifically Toya's take. And I want to know before we get into the show, just quick, Toya, what was you feeling when it was just like, okay, niggas is like actually really mad about the tape. Like
Oh,
niggas
people
is
were upset. People were sending me DMs and all types of crazy shit.
they were
DM.
Um,
DMing you?
yeah. And the comments were kind of crazy. She's stupid, dumbass. People was calling me all out of my name. It was crazy, but it's good times. I'm not as afraid to defend my position. If you disagree, meet me on my show or create yours. I had to tell somebody that. Um, Create your own or shut up or say something of substance, respond to the content of the video. And that's the thing too, we try not to be sensational headline type of people, and really, we make sure we get into the conversations. Kevin, the take that they was mad about was when I said that Dave Chappelle was reminiscent. I said Dave Chappelle was reminiscent of Kanye West, and the reason that's the claim, the warrant to that was that when Dave Chappelle claims to be above board, right? He understands and overstands everything about the way the system is working and functioning, and so he's really about to spread some new knowledge on you. And who else came with that type of rhythm and rhyme than Kanye West? A lot of people was like, "Oh, well, Kanye West, was bipolar and was having them." But here's the thing about having, emotional or psychological irregularities, right? Or I don't want to atypicalities
Yeah,
is the word that I'm looking for. Atypicalities.
right.
You can't project onto those atypicalities and opt in and opt out of when they are those attributes and when the person is speaking their truth. So
Yeah.
who are you to say just because he suffers from that condition that he wasn't in clear heart of mind saying the stuff he was
Mm-hmm.
saying about slavery, lining up and aligning himself with the worst parts of the Republican Party and Donald Trump? Like that could have been him genuinely. So don't try to Kanye's sick. He's that's ableist. That's really kind of problematic because it undermines the ability for individuals who demonstrate neuro or emotional atypicality from articulating and expressing their true ideas and perspectives, which they do all the time. So you got to
Yeah.
give those credibility just like you do anything and anybody else. So
Yeah.
he overstands how blackness and whiteness and these issues were. And I mean, like it's all to me the same thing, but nobody had the ear to listen to that. They read the headline of it and went, wild on it and didn't listen to the explanation of it. So I'm here to defend what I said. I said what I said. It is what it is. Definitely send your
That's the world
friends
we live in.
still defending it to go listen to the episode if they still don't get it yet, because I feel like we did a superb job breaking down the various, components of it. And I'm gonna leave it at that. It was great to read the comments. It was a good time. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think it was a good take though. Like I think it was a good take because they like everybody got it wrong. Like the knee-jerk reaction, you know what I'm saying? Like the
And then everybody's favorite thing to say was, "You're proving Dave Chappelle's point." No.
Hey, I'm so tired of hearing that dumbass statement because in my
Yeah.
mind, then too, speaking with all three of us on here is like, listen, if a motherfucker speak for an hour and 12 minutes, and I give you a criticism for some of the things I heard in an hour and 12 minutes, this doesn't negate the entire hour and 12 minutes. What this means is he made some good points. You feel me? This don't mean that I can't, you feel me, critique the other points that I didn't think that was so good. In my mind, if I talk on a chop up for an hour and y'all say, hey, Conscious Lee said that at the 53-minute mark, that nigga said some shit that was problematic. It doesn't negate other things that I said, but you being loud and criticizing what I said at minute 53, I was wrong at minute 53. It don't mean you didn't get what Conscious Lee said because at 30-minute point, he said the thing I agree with. It's like, you people have horrible comprehension skills.
Or terrible trash.
You feel me?
I mean, the issue
able to catch a point is just trash. In my mind, it's like, hey, on Tuesday I said your shit trash. Y'all will be, but the week though. I'm like, no, motherfucker, I'm talking about Tuesday.
But yeah, I think
top point of the week. No, bitch, Tuesday.
I think what's important to note though, you know what I'm saying, is like all of that shit was celebrity worship, celebrity culture. Agreed. That's it. It's not about the nuance, right? Because there was a specific criticism. Like I think one particular comment just got it completely wrong and was like, they politics ain't nothing the same.
It's like that,
sir. That wasn't the argument. Like that's not what the fuck we was talking about. So it was, but you know, for Toya though, like Toya is usually the one that everybody is like, yeah, right, for sure, you got it. I mean, and she did get a lot of love too in the chat. So you know what I'm saying, don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? Like the blue checks,
listen to the whole
people that matter. Yeah, I mean, the people that gave, the people that matter. You feel me? Like they understood what was being said. So. It was an interesting week.
Shout out to Kevin. Shout out to Selena. Kevin said it's very hypocritical for him to go at any trans or black or white when he stopped his show because the wrong people were laughing too hard. It's also very interesting how inconsistent his politics are because a black woman got fired, for being a part of exposing, the statistics and the data and the metadata about these episodes. So that's a different conversation. Selena says we watched the special and my man is beside me already saying I can't wait to hear the chop up tear this apart. Shout out to you, Selena, shout out to you, shout out to your man, shout out to the whole setup because we was about to get in there and talk about the real shit and pull back the layers. I think the thing. And this is what I hate is that Dave, because of how he approached it, made people feel like they was really doing or saying something smart and that they was really tapping into some. And it's more levels and layers, baby. But I don't want to be the dead horse. Y'all go and check out the episode. It's up. If y'all missed it, if you only got pieces of it, just listen to it on Spotify, listen to it on SoundCloud. Get off of here after the show and listen to it on YouTube. And tell comment on it.
And we've all seen it now, right? We've all seen it now, right? We've all seen it now, right?
I've seen it.
We've all seen it. So we're gonna have after we got a political chop, you know what I'm saying, after our Snapchat. You feel me? And we gonna have an ask the chop up tonight. You feel me? So whatever questions y'all want to ask, because we really what we spoke on.
Her opinion didn't change.
No, exactly. So, like I said, hold on. So that's why I'm like, it ain't really we don't need to dedicate a chop to it. If y'all got questions, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, and shout out to everybody on TikTok too, man. We finna get ready to play our intro, but definitely if y'all want to join this conversation, you feel me, on YouTube, you can go to the Chop Up Show on YouTube or the Conscious Lee on YouTube. We got a nice conversation. Y'all see the comment section is jumping. You feel what I'm saying? Hey, Damo, you know how time, man.
Investing out the blue. What up?
Ready for the intro.
My boy Blue in the building. So with that being said, who's gonna bring it in then? I can bring it in.
Yeah.
All right, let's get it. So we're gonna start the show. But we always start the show. Let's go.
Me, my guys, we really lie. Lord, forgive me, pay my tithes. Please don't have me reach inside. And that's in the console. Keep the semi when I ride. Let off Henny when I drive. In the city, we gon' slide. Bet I be there pronto.
Y'all know what's up, man. This is the Chop Up Show, specifically here on Facebook and YouTube. I am Damo, the political plug, here with some wonderful people. Who
You
am
go
I
Toy
with?
G. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've jumped in, but I'm just that excited to be here. It's your girl Toy G, here with the plug, here with the homies. Just definitely excited here with the comment section. Love that y'all tapped in. JD was going down. Finally tapped in. Much love from South Florida and everybody else. Real quick, I want to come at y'all with a statistic. Almost 10% of our listeners are located out of the United States. So shout out to y'all in the 50 states representing, but also shout out to the United Kingdom, and shout out to Ghana, and shout out to Canada, and shout out to a couple other places. Let me get
shout
my
out to
statistics
Nigeria,
right
you know what I'm saying?
real
Shout out to
quick.
Germany, you feel me?
Who else is repping? It's a lot of love. The Virgin Islands, Australia, all of y'all tap in. So shout out to that international love on the Chop Up Show.
Definitely got to shout out to the international love. But
Shout out to the
this
haters,
other
man.
dude,
Education is elevation. George Lee, aka
that guy,
Conscious Lee. Don't forget the
that
Lee,
guy,
GeorgeLeeSpeaks.com. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all know
that
tomorrow, actually Wednesday night, y'all catch me on Campus Conversations. But listen, y'all do me a favor though, and go on and go to Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and go on and subscribe and download our latest episodes. You feel what I'm saying? Especially y'all that's watching right now on YouTube and on Facebook. You know what I mean? We definitely have the podcast all edited up nice for you. You feel me? Right now on wherever you listen to podcasts at.
Yeah.
Here,
Y'all know what it is. So
shout out to Alexis. See, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. Shout out to you.
You know what I'm saying?
representing Pedro.
Yeah, already. But to go ahead and get it started, Toya, you can go ahead and do the Snapchat.
All right. Well, interestingly enough, today started with some mourning across the nation, and in a lot of ways because of his work around the world. We know that former Secretary of Defense Colin Powell passed away at the age of 84 from COVID. He was said to, and they made sure to put in the headlines that he had received the vaccine and passed away. But also, an important context for that is that he had pancreatic cancer, I believe, as well as Parkinson's disease. So, a couple of secondary and tertiary things that really influenced his immune system. Yeah, and so the compromisation is there. A lot of people took to social media after the news started rolling in the same ways we always do, kind of give their condolences and really started to reflect on the legacy of Colin Powell, recognizing all the things that he did to influence the Gulf War. And the ways that he was able to, on an international level, really communicate and inspire a lot of those plans and potentials for that. He was a get in, get out, war if only necessary, try to bring it to a close, don't open a mission without knowing how it's going to be executed and closed out type of person. And so he was praised and held in the 80s and 90s, highly speculated to run for president eventually. That never happened, but he took on some other important roles, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and a whole bunch of important stuff. Here's where his story gets a little bit interesting. The 9/11 happens, and at that point, we are in a position with George W. Bush, the second Bush, after he'd already, rocked with the first one. The second Bush was like, "Yo, we got to go over there and get some business now." Apparently, he took some bad intel and got up in front of the whole wide world and was like, "They got weapons of mass destruction. We got to go get them." And so we gonna go to war. This is our justification for going to war with this region, in this region. And what did we find out? There was not any weapons of mass destruction. There was a lot of oil. There's a lot of human rights abuses. There was a lot of funny business for 20 years or so. We just recently ended the war that was inspired by his sworn testimony that it was bad business going on over there. So a lot of people died. A lot of people been dying. A lot of people still dying as a result of us initiating that conflict. And so we get here, and I want to know, because, as young Black children, in America, we are given images of people, And I feel like to get us out of Sojourner Truth and to get us out of Harriet Tubman, to get us out of Martin Luther King, we start getting more contemporary leaders when we was in school.
Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice.
You know what I'm saying? These type of figures, you know what I'm saying? You get some Fannie Lou Hamer, you might get a little Shirley Chisholm, you start getting some other, you know, big hitters and big players. So talk to me about y'all's relationship to Colin Powell.
I think that this tweet from Dr. Mark Lamont Hill, for me, hit it right in the head. Dr. Mark Lamont Hill said, at the personal level, Colin Powell was a nice man. He was also a trailblazer, but he was also a military leader and a key strategist of an empire that killed countless people and undermined the sovereignty of multiple nations. And our memory and our memorials, we must be honest about all of this. And I think that when it comes to me thinking about being a straight black man from, you feel me, Bryan, Texas, the position and image of Colin Powell in many instances, you feel me, for me was very empowering growing up in Bryan, Texas, because I ain't know nothing about no imperialism, no colonialism. I wasn't very critical of the empire of America at all, and thought that any black person, you feel me, experiencing mobility, or any black person being represented in this empire is obviously something good. Now, of course, you know what I'm saying, when I became more conscious, you see what I'm saying, I started learning more of the political, social implications of what Colin Powell was doing and how it had implications, you feel me, internationally, in terms of how I like to end this rant, a thing we grew up, I know me and Damo heard very young in our consciousness, you feel me, one person's terrorist is another person's patriot. One person's patriot is another person's terrorist. And I think that Colin Powell, for me, you feel me, personally, not speaking for nobody else, but for me personally, I think that that's what Colin Powell, you know what I'm saying, represents, you feel me.
Yeah,
I mean, I struggled with Colin Powell like a lot. Colin Powell was like the first time where it was like this is like before Obama. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I first started paying attention to politics in 2000, like during that election, because like I literally heard a joke about, and this is my introduction into like the Republican Democrat paradigm. My older sister repeated a joke about if Bush got elected, black people was going back to the cotton fields. She repeated that joke, like, and I took that very serious. Like, that's literally the foundation of like why I am the political plug today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, so for me, like that association with the Bush administration, the association with like republicanism, with Republicans, with conservatism, I struggled with being able to, as specifically at that time, praise Colin Powell, but could never go insofar as to like be critical of him, because it was like at that time, like early 2000s, like he was like Colin Powell was the pinnacle of what Black America, you know what I'm saying, could become for America. You feel me? Like highly respected. I mean, and on both sides of the spectrum, you know what I'm saying? Both Democrats and Republicans respect. That's why people would assume that he would run for president, because it's like, who don't fuck with Colin Powell, right? If there was a perception,
an objective bone in your body,
you know what I'm saying? Like if there was a perception of like before Obama, like this is the untouchable Black man. This is who you look up to. This is who you respect. You know what I'm saying? This is who you adhere to. Is motherfucking Colin Powell.
Yeah, I feel like somebody posted something, and but it was like 3 Black men during his kind of era that were really strong voices. I think like objectively in the community, it was like Colin Powell, Bryant Gumbel, and like I think somebody said like Roland Martin or something like that. But I wasn't familiar. That's where that one kind of threw me off. But I'm not familiar with like his early journalistic work and contributions and stuff like that. So
I mean, I think Colin Powell was set apart. Like Colin Powell was pretty much the nigga who passed the torch to Obama. Colin Powell was.
Interesting.
Like, so, I mean, because and what set him apart even more so is he was one of the first people to be like, we got it wrong. You know what I'm saying? When it came to like being in Afghanistan and Iraq, and you know, with that, like you said, the initial information, he was one of the like, yeah, we got it wrong, and really began to distance himself from the Republican Party, and was one of the major reasons why Barack Obama became president.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. My bad.
Nah, I mean, so Colin Powell was that dude. Like, in his heart, and even with the
And Selena said it right though. Selena said, like, growing up, I looked up to Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice.
Right, and that, like, yeah, it's with the, but and this was the thing though, and like most niggas don't really. It's the distinction between Democrat and Republican is cultural. It's ideological in a way, but insofar as how we understand these groups as cultures, right? And at that time, niggas didn't have the problem with conservatism that they had. You know what I'm saying? Like,
in my opinion, the only person I just always had an issue with is Clarence Thomas. Like Clarence Thomas, I can go back in the archive. I can't see a time when he was ever good.
Yeah.
Anybody else though?
Had a heyday, had a moment.
But Colin Powell, like,
moment in the hood.
Colin Powell was like, in, you know what I mean, when we come into like the 90s, early like the 2000s, was the respectable nigga.
Yeah, for sure.
He was the respectable nigga. Obama took that over a little bit, you know what I'm saying, once he popped up, but yeah, Colin Powell was that.
Well, I feel like we asked the next question that I'm about to ask y'all in relationship to Colin Powell. Now that y'all reflected on what he meant to y'all, kind of how, you know, he was a figure in your lives. People pass away, and because of the day and time we live in, you know, we get a couple condolences, a couple clean tweets, a couple clean posts, and then all of a sudden the criticism start. And so for him, his passing has been surrounded by, you know, skepticism and criticism from everybody from anti-imperialists to anti-vaxxers. You know what I'm saying? Just like a whole lot of people have been like picking apart his passing. And so I guess my last question to y'all is, when is it fair to, like, what's the time limit? You know what I'm saying? When is it fair to, or is it no time limit? Do you just go in on people as soon as they pass away? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's proper form for dealing with the passing of a leader or of a person who got a sketchy past or something that we don't agree with? Like, is it fair or foul that his legacy is getting this treatment first day, first morning?
Well, you know me, because I'm against celebrity culture the way that I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm against deifying public figures, like, and because I think criticism is crucial to growth, development, all of that shit. Whenever, like, especially given what the criticism is related to, like, he was the respectable Negro for the imperialism, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of the and everything that came along with American imperialism, you know what I'm saying? So as much as we can say culturally within the United States and within Black neighborhoods and within Black educational institutions, he represented, you know what I'm saying, what niggas wanted to be, but the impact of what he worked for, you know what I'm saying, killed other brown people, was responsible for the death of a lot of a bunch of other brown people, you know what I'm saying? And so the balance means that if there is no hesitation in praising him, then the criticism should also have really no restrictions in terms of when it should be put out there, because balance is important. So right. if for every time he's praised, he's criticized, so that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I think that I feel like I answer your question with a question and be like, for who? Because I think that I agree with Damo, right? Nobody is above criticism, even in death. You feel me? Nobody is immune to criticism, even in death. But I real recognize there's a pattern of anti-Blackness that make it where niggas is being held to a high threshold of accountability and responsibility in life and in death. And I think that in terms of like political narratives, there's been a lot of anti-Blackness in them headlines when it comes to Colin Powell. And I even say that being critical of how he was integral and how he contributed to the imperialism of America. But I still recognize there's a lot of inconsistency and energy when it comes from the bipartisan, you feel me, headlines in terms of how his death is being given, you feel me? And I'm just thinking of, like Investing Out of Blue said, you feel me, in the comment section, when George Bush Sr. died, goddamn, everybody that had some power or that had some political capital was literally on, you know what I'm saying, the resistance, like, hey, we got to have some respect. Guys, you got to have time, guys. It's not the time and place, X, Y, and Z. And I think that there's something always resolved, always something reserved for white people and whiteness to be seen as being transcendental all the time. No matter, I don't give a fuck if they disrespected the entirety of everybody that got killed or everybody that died during the AIDS pandemic, mixed in with them saying, you feel me, your mama and your daddy is full of shit, mixed in with them, you feel me? Because if you're being real, there's a lot of shit that George Bush did.
Yeah.
A lot of folks felt like, hey, and where I'm from, George Bush Sr. was on his dead body was on a train from like Houston, Texas, and literally went through my hometown because my hometown is what George Bush Library is.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
definitely.
And me, I remember, you feel me? You weren't able to criticize it. So again, think about it. Like, hey, long, Colin Powell, you was George Bush's the junior's homeboy. You feel me?
And think about it though. Hold on, and think about it though. Think about it. Bush, the Gore situation, that was, you know what I'm saying? That was, you know what I'm saying, 50-50. But when it came to John Kerry, he kicked his ass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Black people wasn't fucking with John Kerry.
What's funny is when you were saying something about your how you came into politics. I came into politics as an 8th grader at Sam Rayburn Middle School because they told me that if George Bush was reelected, he was going to take our food stamps, he was going to kick me off. I remember this like it was. I had been 13 years old. It was 04. It was 04.
George, hold on, we're gonna have to talk about that, bro. We're gonna talk about that because it's something we need to explore.
Like, it's literally like, don't get me wrong, 2000, I was in 5th grade, this, that, and the other. But the first time I was conscious of politics and how it can have an impact on my livelihood,
it was fear, right? It was fear.
Literally saying, if George Bush is reelected, we not gonna get no more food stamps. And literally, it was real.
And listen, for me, it was, if George Bush is elected, we going back to the cotton field, 7th grade, Argentine middle school. I was in history class. That shit was tormenting.
04, John Kerry.
But look,
I derailed the conversation. You just thought about. I was like, damn.
Because the thing that I was about to say was, Colin Powell was a large part of legitimizing patriotism to Black people, legitimizing conservatism for Black people. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Like when we talk about even today,
right?
You said, yes, nigga, he was. Colin Powell was the first Black, first Black was Secretary of State.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like he was the nigga that got closest to the motherfucking presidency before Obama. He sniffed it. Like he was a nigga away from being president. You feel me? And so with that kind of relationship, I mean, you attach Condoleezza Rice onto that, but even with that being a Black strong figure, you know what I'm saying? No, for real. Like, I mean, we would have to. I don't want to say no, but the controversies don't seem to stay. His biggest controversy is fucking the
endorsing
war on terror. Nah, the war on terror.
Yeah,
like the going into Afghanistan and Iraq. That's his biggest shit. That's where he fuck up. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, we look at it today. Like you would say that's the Black. Like that's
how died as conservative. Would y'all say that Colin Powell
nah,
because he was endorsing Obama or what? Like how?
I would say he died a conservative. He didn't die a Republican though. He didn't die a Republican.
Knowing what I know about him, I could agree. I won't pretend like I was into the latest, thoughts, feelings, and sentiments of Colin Powell, but that seems reasonable. I don't see him aligning with the kind of Trumpian America that has been created. I don't see him riding for that at all.
Touche.
I mean, like especially with what Republicans represent now. Colin Powell, like I said, went a long way in legitimizing like neoconservatism to Black people, because there's a distinction between Ronald Reagan's conservatism and then the Bush era conservatism. You feel me? And Colin Powell went a large way in that those neocons that were all a part of the Bush administration, like the mindset and the logic that came. Like Black people don't look at, like motherfuckers our generation look at people like Donald Rumsfeld and a motherfucker like Dick Cheney.
Mm-hmm.
Our generation, we grew up on George Bush don't care about Black people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like our relationship with the people that Colin Powell called colleagues is different than the generation before us. You know what I mean? So like they wasn't like it was the motherfuckers that was just barely above us that was like George Bush is the devil. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like this. It fucked niggas head up to see Kanye West rocking with Donald Trump when this is the same nigga that was standing next to Mike Myers during Katrina talking about George Bush don't care about black people.
Doesn't care about black people.
But
Right.
Trump
You know what I'm
loves him.
saying? But these are two different brands of conservatism. Bush era neoconservatism was legitimized to black people by Colin Powell. You feel me? Donald Trump,
right? And
Condoleezza Rice too. And Condoleezza,
not so much her, but
Condoleezza Rice too. I mean, but I don't want to take away from her either. You know what I'm saying? But because of you know what I'm saying, Colin Powell was that dude, bro. Especially when it came to and you know, black people got a certain perception when it comes to the military, like being able to go through it. You feel me? It was like, again, it was the Bush era neocons where the later generations was like, we not fucking with y'all. But the older generations, Colin Powell was that dude. And he's the reason why, like, you know, not Mitch McConnell, but the vice president, Dick Cheney, and them got away with a lot of shit that they got away with, and black people weren't as outraged because they didn't give a fuck about that shit.
So, you know, my motto of research of a me search. Selena she said I had to Google it, and the headline say he said that he is no longer calling himself a Republican and that he was voting for Biden. So
yeah,
you know, I thought you can wrap it up now, Toya. I was just curious about.
Well, I think the thing that I heard like an interview from some lady who worked in the White House around the time he was in most of his power, and one of the things that she reflected on in talking about him was that he really regretted what he did, and he knew that it would leave a stain and a tarnish on his legacy. It was something that he was not like concerned about because you can't really rehabilitate the initiation of a war, but something that he knew would, you know, really augment what we know and how we reflect on his life. And so, you know, you want to be able to celebrate people in life and in death. You want to be able to give them their condolences and flowers, but also be critical. We talk a lot about being able to walk and chew gum at the same time. Imperialism in the military is not something I bang with, which is why, like, I couldn't necessarily hit like on a lot of, you know, but at the same time, I have respect and acknowledge people who pass away, especially when they do it in what seems like genuine service to their country. One of the things that who was that? JD Floyd said was that I gave a fair and solid summation of who Colin Powell is, and that was the goal, because you know, these important black people who shape our reality, you know, in this country and on this planet, we got to talk about them, good, bad, and ugly. So rest in peace to Colin Powell and all those things. Criticism still at the forefront of the conversation, but somebody passed away today. We can acknowledge that. Well, there it is. That's the snapshot.
All right. So with that being said, we could go ahead and move into the political chop. We haven't had one of these in a while. And the reason why we haven't had one of these in a while is because nobody gives a fuck about politics anymore. Joe Biden is motherfucking white bread compared to the sheet cake full of icing with that big red rose on the corner when it comes to political conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna force it on you motherfuckers anyway.
We're gonna
talk about
that was a hell of an analogy, by the way. You're crazy.
No, but like let's keep it a stack. It's so with that being said, let's go ahead and I want to play a game similar to Where's Waldo, but we're gonna call it Where's Kamala. Where's Kamala?
Sure.
Where can somebody please? We keep getting like statements about like very generic shit. There was a statement about Colin Powell breaking barriers. She's making comments about climate change and all this other shit. But from your perspective, has there been anything significant said? Any significant statement, significant action that's come out of the office of the vice president that made y'all be like, okay, there's something, anything?
I mean, no. And the reason why is that, here's why I'll say no, is that I know as a vice president, she has been tasked with immigration. We've seen the failures with that from just our regular immigration issues to that shutdown at the border when people's under the bridge to what happened to Haitians to how we're navigating the situation with bringing people from Afghanistan here. And so, like, there's just a lot of, I guess, coming from the thing she was primarily tasked to do, in my perspective. And there has been change and recourse and reform, but I don't know that it's materialized anything interesting. And I don't really sit and research immigration. And so ain't nothing hitting the headlines.
Oh, it's nothing good. Nothing good. The whole Haitian shit, that's an immigration issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Very
saying?
much
Like so if we going based off of anything that got to do with immigration,
that's not a thing. And then
that may be why you ain't heard from her ass.
We continue down the list of, line items that we're mostly concerned about, mostly interested in. They're in these debt ceiling talks and conversations right now, which is really taking up a lot of time and space. And I get that part too, but what part of the debt ceiling is directly dealing with policing and reallocating?
My fault. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I mean she really ain't got nothing. Like she's not even a significant voice in that.
Right.
Yeah. So
what you think, George?
I mean, I'm trying to be critical and thinking about, like, I don't listen. Dick Cheney didn't do a motherfucking thing. Mike Pence didn't do a motherfucking thing. Joe Biden didn't do a motherfucking thing. You feel me? Be consistent in what I expect from her in her position of being vice president, and thinking about in my conscious, experience of what vice presidents do. It's like, what do I expect her to do based off what other people have done? It's like, hey, Joe Biden gave us a whole bunch of Uncle Joe memes. You feel me? Where Dick Cheney got shot in the face, some shit like that. And it's like, I don't know. I'm really trying to be pragmatic in what I expect her to do and what she's doing. And right now, I'm having a hard time becoming really being like, she ain't doing enough, or you feel me? Because it's like,
there's also, our barometer for enough is kind of latched onto this perception of who she's trying to be and trying to become, right? She needs to have a bigger presence because if she wants to win again, whatever, but you can't do that. It's a lot of reasons why she can't even act like she cares about running for president right now. That's just such a big distraction. You know what I'm saying? From everything, like the regular presidential agenda, on top of this debt ceiling crisis that we in, on top of the pandemic, on top of so she can't even move like cause girl, what are you doing? Like you playing out of turn right now. So that is, and kind of in line with what Lee is saying, but like times 10, because it's like, not only do I not know what to expect you to be doing anyway, because what do vice presidents do? But you better not be doing shit right now to try to make yourself look appealing, because it makes you look like you're going rogue from a presidency that is not doing well at all. Right. That is not high in approval. That is not high in just general liking on either side by their own party. So you ain't got no time to be campaigning, girl. Sit down.
And I ain't too before you say that, I haven't heard Joe Biden's presidency be compared to Jimmy Carter in terms of it being lackluster and
just completely just like
trash. I'm thinking like, damn, how we go from Donald Trump being like anybody but this guy to being like, man, I don't know about this guy.
Bro, listen. If I could compare this presidency to anything, it would be a hamburger. Like not even a cheeseburger. Like literally a hamburger. Like y'all ever thought like who just orders the hamburger, right? Like when you get a burger, you thinking like cheese, meat, you feel me? Who just orders the hamburger? That's what, like literally wrapped in that. Oh, remember the white wrapper that they would come in McDonald's hamburgers. Yeah. Not the cheeseburgers, just bland.
And shout out to our lactose people. Y'all know what we're trying to say. We understand. Yeah. You lactose people, I don't get it because I can't eat cheese.
Right. You would prefer the cheese. That's why you mad. You mad because you would prefer the cheese, right? Sure. But that's what you get though. And so, and I think on this question of expectations, it's important to note that the whole her being there was to shatter what was to be expected. You feel me? So if you got to go back to what did Joe Biden do as vice president, or what did Dick Cheney do as vice president? Now Dick Cheney actually did a lot. Like motherfuckers actually say that Dick Cheney was the brains behind the war in Afghanistan and the war in Iraq. and George Bush was more so the figurehead mouthpiece of the whole shit, just kind of went
Of
along
course.
with everything. But with that being said, I have to ask y'all, as voting age adults, is there anything about this fucking presidency that would make y'all feel like in what 2024 you like she could be the next president of the United States? Anything?
You said, is there anything or could there be anything?
Is
'Cause
there
I got
anything
the,
right now? Like,
ain't nothing
how
right
like
now. I got the alley-oop, baby. I got the thing that'll get my vote or that'll get me a little bit closer to thinking
no.
about it. So, I got
Right.
the
We go
hoop,
and we gonna get there though. We gonna get there
and
because
these
I
comments
want to
not good
know.
too, so we gotta holler at them as well.
Yeah, we gonna get to because I know once we start talking about Kamala, motherfuckers start. I know I'm giving y'all the soapbox to get up and talk shit about this woman, but I want to make something clear. I advocated for her vice presidency. I advocated for the presidency of Joe Biden. So therefore, it is my responsibility to make sure that I hold them accountable. You know what I'm saying? Especially as a part of the media. The Chop Up is the media. I'm letting it be known.
I'm the
I
media.
advocated. Yeah, you media, goddamn.
I'm just Toya Green, child.
Toya Green Media. But with that being said, though, Toya, you saying no? There's nothing.
I gotta
that you've seen so far.
Nothing that I see that would entice anything. I think she's almost.
Did she freeze?
Froze right in the middle of the statement.
Yeah.
Hey, well, why she coming back? I'll say, I think that going back to that lift every voice and scene, you know what I'm saying, playing. Just if you can start doing some shit, you feel me? Like, hey, money talking, bullshit walk. If there's some type of way to be able to materialize some of the bullshit you was, you know what I'm saying, promising, I think.
No. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna get to what y'all think can get niggas to vote. I want to know, you know, like you know how they do, like, because I think we approaching like halfway through the shit. So like, if you have like a mid-season MVP, you feel me? Like, would like halfway through it, do you think you would be on path to being like, yeah, Kamala Biden or Kamala whoever 2024?
No. No.
That you ain't seen Nathan.
Nothing. I'm not beating my chest about it. I'm not advocating for it. I'm waiting. I'm looking like everybody else. Right now, it ain't been nothing that'll get me excited to go to the booth. You feel me? In terms of voting again for a Biden Harris, you know what I'm saying, ticket. I feel like there's been a lot of empty promises and a whole bunch of cute symbolic gestures, but the hoes is empty. All of it's empty. So
right.
It's like, you know, and I guess to answer the question, me and Toya know what they could do to be able to.
No, I'm gonna ask that. But that's
right now. Yeah. The question what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not.
I mean, and listen, this is what I was gonna say before I got cut out. The one thing I cannot overstate is how much everybody collectively, even Democrats, are displeased. Right? I think a lot of Black people are independents at this point. And they are. I think they're in a really interesting predicament to kind of see a path where they can, with a straight face, as I'm guilty, me too. Damo made his explanation, his declaration of who he voted for and shit. I was there. I was in the conversation 9 and shit. Rolled the footage. I was there. No more. Never. I can't. And I can't. And I'm not a Democrat. You know what I'm saying? So, but Democrats are displeased. Like, the approval rating is so low and it's getting lower. These supply chain issues, y'all Christmas coming, y'all not getting shit. Y'all better buy y'all turkeys and stuff like that now, because grocery stores, supply chains jacked up, and they gotta blame somebody. And so, not only do I not think there's anything out there that makes Kamala an option, I don't think there's anything out there that makes any candidate of the Democratic Party an option. And that is something that I think we're gonna see come to fruition as we get to 2022. Niggas is down bad.
Well, I mean, at this point, I'm asking Colin Powell, do you have any kids, nigga, I can vote for? Is they Republican, and do you got any kids, nigga? Because,
but you know what's crazy? I do want to get to some of these comments before we get to the last question on this part of the political chat. I want to
A lot of comments. A lot of comments.
So first, you know what I'm saying, when we get into this conversation about Kamala, yeah, I mean, you got Jaleesa said, yeah, but she planning to go in for the top seat. She expected her to do more, without a doubt. Like that's why when George talking about what other motherfuckers did, can't hold her to that standard.
I kind of did.
You expect her to do more?
I no, because we knew why she was there. We just kind of hoped, but hopes and expectations are different things. I didn't mean to cut that off, but that is just where I'm at.
Well, I mean, to be honest, like you go right along with the next comment. We expect too much from her. Kamala, we knew who she was. Let's not.
Yes, outside. You're right.
Yeah.
Cardinals. It reminded me of that old Cardinals thing. We knew who they were.
Yeah.
Where were we? Hey, where were we?
Yeah.
I just seen that clip a couple days ago. Yeah.
Hey, JD Floyd said, right, we are Stockholmed from Trump Pence. Yeah, like when it was like, at least they're not Trump, right? You know what I'm saying? When you fed a bunch of bullshit and then you get to eat a little bit of McDonald's, you're going to think McDonald's is gourmet. If you go from slop to McDonald's is gourmet.
A step up,
right?
ain't
it? That boy Van said, come on, guys. Kamala had early access, yo. Snoop and Pac in college before their albums dropped. She's one of us. You know what I'm saying? Side eye like a motherfucker.
Vance also followed up and said, I expected nothing from this presidency but placeholding and damage control. That's a little bit further toward the bottom. And JD said, I expect politicians to politic. I'm going to do a plug for a show. I love a good political drama. And Designated Survivor. The plot of it is very interesting. If you don't know what the Designated Survivor is, in the government, there is individuals who, somebody in the cabinet who is not able to go to like the State of the Union or meetings where everybody is. And the reason why is that if something go down, they next up for secession. This show explores the world where that happens. And what it was interesting for, because I mean, this TV, and I understand I get that, just like Grey's ain't a real hospital, but it's some shit that's real. And so just watching decision-making conversations, the way that they calculate, the way that they think about it, this whole notion of politicians, politicking, it is something else to watch and see in an up-close, very interesting way. So I'm going to plug that show. It's on Netflix, Designated Survivor. But also very muchly agree.
I watched the first season.
Is it more than one season? Is it more than one season?
It's multiple seasons.
Okay,
it's multiple seasons.
There are 3 seasons. And so it's really interesting. But like you said, people are satisfied with McDonald's when they've been getting a whole lot of nothing. And I think that's what we were told, is that we was getting, you know, not only a Happy Meal, but a nice little toy. And I think Kamala was the little plush toy that we were supposed to get. I don't know. We was expecting that. Sometimes we like the toy, sometimes we don't, you know?
Yeah, my grandpa always say, if you used to chicken slop, of course you're going to be happy with chicken shit.
Country.
My grandpa
Hey, yeah, he got them. My grandpa said for days.
Yeah.
Jordan said, at this rate, I don't know if Biden, Kamala even win the Democratic nomination for 2024. Ain't nobody, like,
one term,
your own people not even fucking with you.
One term, let me tell you something. The Democrats, I don't think would, you feel me? The Democrats would figure out a way to try to get out of the due process of saying, well, because you are in, you automatically get it. Like, oh no, we want to remake the policy. We need to go back to the board and do a group meeting. Because right now, I feel like me knowing what I know about politics, I think that Democrats and Republicans agree that Jimmy Carter's presidency was some shit. Like, that's what I recognize. That regardless of what part of the aisle you're from, you recognize that Jimmy Carter's presidency was some shit.
Yeah,
so he was like a placeholder. It was like a placeholder. Like he was
exactly. So the fact is, people on both sides of the aisle comparing Biden's presidency to Jimmy.
Yeah, but you know what? Like I say, and before I get to that, the second part of this conversation, I blame all the motherfuckers who didn't vote in 2016. God damn it! Listen, if y'all would have learned early on, fuck it. Let me get on this soapbox real quick. I don't give a fuck. Y'all did this. Niggas could have at least said we elected a woman. Nah, we had to prove the patriarchy so much that we had to elect the worst possible motherfucker just to elect the white man version of the woman that niggas chose not to elect.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it though, real quick.
A tangle web we woven.
Niggas was so mad. Oh, and this is after Obama. Think about it. Obama was like, he changed the game, right? Niggas was so mad about a celebrity president that they saw a white woman, like, okay, we could elect a woman. You feel me? And the most misogynistic, you know what I'm saying? Like demented,
Grab 'em by the cooler.
up, motherfucker, grab them by the, you know what I'm saying? Them two versus them two. Niggas said, like, think about it though. Think about it. Versus them two. Niggas said emails. Niggas said she's a liar. Versus them two. Then had to deal with 4 years of bullshit just to turn back around and be like, well, we'll elect the white man version of her against the same nigga.
It happened. It did. I'm still defending my decision not to vote. I live in California. I didn't need to be clear.
I just want to put that up there.
I live in Oklahoma, and goddamn, the whole state is red both times.
Listen, I get that. Swing states, blah blah blah. What the fuck ever. I get it.
I just want to put that out there.
But I will never, like, I'm not gonna let niggas live down the fact that niggas chose not to vote.
That's what I was cracking up about.
I'm not gonna let niggas live down the fact that niggas chose not to vote when they could have broke the glass ceiling. We could have did like, man, a woman president. Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, but the United States don't really want that. You know, when you look at the women who are at odds with other women about things as simple as the bodies that they share and the similarities.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
They know. Yeah.
You start to recognize that the electorate itself is divisive and not nearly as straight. Like, what does it mean to the woman vote? What is a black vote? What is a Latino vote? We found out before that Cubans and Peruvians, and they don't think about shit the same way Mexicans do. And all Mexicans don't think about this shit the same way do, because some of them like, you should have came the right way. Some of them like, listen, I'm out here doing what I like. So
right.
You know, that's what you get. That's what y'all melting pot looking ass niggas get for trying to shake and stir us all together, because now everybody got their own little iteration for what they're trying to do, and it's your fault.
Didn't Hillary lose the white woman vote?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. White women, pretty much white women gave Trump. I told y'all white on white violence. Y'all know what I stand on. Y'all know what I preach about. That's that white on white violence. They ain't got nothing to do with us. But it's at the same time though. Like, so we're not blaming it. Anyway. Let's get into the last question. That was just I had to do that, Red. Let's get into the last question before we get into the ask to chop up. What can she do? What can she do? What can she influence? What can she say? Where can she show up to make it be like this second that, we're going into halftime, coming out in the second half, you know what I'm saying? Like, what can Kamala do to be like, okay, I can see you as my president?
George, because I know what mine is.
I just know that I can name a lot of shit. She can, you feel me? Like, really, she can legalize weed. Niggas would be on her. You feel me? Like, she can federally try to figure out some type of way to work her jelly and finesse the legalization of marijuana. That will help her out. I think, me personally though, that she was able to run on a whole bunch of promises towards black people, specifically black women, and they had a whole fucking plan called the Lift Every Voice and Scene plan. Yeah. They acknowledge disparities in education.
You childish for keep calling it the Lift Every Voice and Scene plan. It's the Lift Every Voice plan, but I guess
Lift Every Voice.
But we know why they named it that, because
right.
But what I'm saying,
but that's why you childish for that.
That's why. But all I'm saying is there were a lot of great promises that was made in this plan. What I'm saying is that they could take a percentage of those things and make them real, actualize them. I think that black people, and not only black people, I think that a lot of Democrats, liberals, left-leaning motherfuckers would go out there and, you know what I'm saying, put that battle out. But right now though, nigga, it's a no.
All right, I want to do something real quick. I want to bounce back to 2 comments before I answer the question of what she can do. Van says, nah, fam, Hillary, super predator Clinton did get elected because those same red racists are misogynists too, and niggas weren't going for their weak ass hot sauce in their bag argument. So it is some levels and layers there to how Hillary didn't. Yeah. She didn't put the ball in the hoop in a lot of ways. And then Paul Winston said there would have been a significant difference in the federal judges in SCOTUS with lifetime appointments, if nothing else. So that's the other side of it, though. Like, we get it. Niggas was offended. Super predator this, super predator that. But look at where we are now, where the Trump administration will be able to be deemed successful, not in a general objective sense, because we know he's trash, but in terms of securing the mission, executing the strategy, getting judges and stuff set up. His presidency was successful for
Kavanaugh, and what's the lady name?
Amy Barrett, Coney Barrett.
Coney Barrett.
Yeah.
Three of them things in the highest court of the land. When you talk about that, that nigga didn't just pack the courts. One in every 7 federal judge is a Trump appointee.
Yeah. So
one in every 7. 3 Supreme Court justices. What is wrong with y'all?
I just wanted to point that out because it's good comparative, you know what I'm saying, kind of conversations happening. Now, in terms of what she can do, let's go back to that part because George was not wrong. Take a piece or a fraction of the Lift Every Voice and Sing plan and make it real.
Stop disrespecting these people's paperwork. Stop disrespecting these people's paperwork.
And sing, baby. You got to sing too. Period. But I think that one thing that she could do that will win even more support, not even Democrat support, but will really change and adjust how she is understood by the people and her forward-thinking, forward-moving orientation toward a new America, is to get Joe Biden to sign an executive order to give student debt relief, right? If we look at the one thing that we need right now in this country, it is the anticipation of more money being made, moved, and circulated without new money being printed. And that is in the hand of our generation. Student loans is beating everybody's ass. I'm on the light end, and I don't have an expectation of paying these loans off ever in my life. I have other things that I aspire to do. Unless I hit a ching, and then we can go ahead and just get that off our back, whatever, then logically, obviously. But outside of that, I have no intention on paying these loans. That being said,
y'all never be broke.
Listen, if she can push and be the person who get the finger pointed at her, like she inspired Joe Biden to recognize his authoritative right as a president to work and activate his exo powers, his executive order powers, because I'm pretty sure that's been the lie, that he can't do it, that it has to be on the agenda. You see, it didn't make it to the spending bill that they're talking about now for the deficit. That never even made it, let alone them. So that's something that they're arguing about. They're not even thinking about student debt. They can't wait for us to start paying that shit back in February because the government's broke. They really not finna forgive it now because they want to regenerate that income coming in. So it's far away from it passing through any Congress, any Senate. It's just not gonna happen. So the only way it's gonna get passed is through executive order, which he has the option to do. If she can get him to go ahead and step up to the plate, handle that, and get the credit for that on his way out, because we know he's not running again, I'll think about it.
Because he's not running again. I made fun of Donald Trump for saying Donald Trump only wanted to do this presidency so he can have a check off the bucket list for the things that old white ass want to do. Joe Biden is giving me those vibes. He's a career politician.
Man, listen.
I just want to be able, you know what? I don't care how good I do at the job. I just want to be able to say I had the opportunity.
I had the job. Yeah.
That's really how I feel at this point. It's like
Joe Biden
presidency, but I am the president though.
What George is saying is that Joe Biden is the rebound out of a toxic relationship. You feel me? Like it was like, I don't need to be with this motherfucker. You feel me? But I got somebody else that I could, give my attention to as I get over that motherfucker. But I'm not about to be with this motherfucker for too much.
Hey, like Drake said, you just nothing to do, baby.
It was something to do when it's nothing to do. You feel me? That's all Joe Biden is, a quick run through. Like, I'm gonna move on. Like, this wasn't supposed to be all of that. You know what I'm saying? We're not meeting the parents. You know what I'm saying?
She can do that, goddamn.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and what I'll say, before we transition is, I mean, develop a real platform associated with criminal justice, with prison reform. Develop a real, you know what I'm saying? Develop a real platform around taking a look at a lot of motherfuckers that's locked up unjustly. You feel me? Like really showing people that like that's something you really give a fuck about. Like the biggest impact on Black communities right now is how they are fucking policed. Like that. I mean, even
outside of Black communities, we are a laughing stock in terms of control, order, and organization as it relates to crime and punishment because we have the most people incarcerated per capita by a lot than any other country. So it's not
in
even
any other fucking country. Black
from the
people are the
perspective-
most imprisoned fucking people in the world.
Americans are the most imprisoned people in the world. So when we talk about these kind of, that's why I'm saying these kind of abolitionist reform, we'll call them reformists because
She said abolitionists. If you don't get your
I went too far. When we
Frederick
talk about
Douglass.
prison abolition is a thing, and it ain't got nothing to do with Frederick Douglass.
No, I know.
But I understand the connection. What I meant to say was reform.
Oh shit.
When we think about prison reform, we've got to kind of recognize and keep that component of that shit in mind.
Right, without a doubt. So I think developing like a real platform around, you know what I'm saying, doing something associated with that shit, will go a long way. I mean, because I think rhetoric works on people, and it's good to have something that you can attach that shit to. You know what I mean? But just being completely absent, not being there at all. You feel me? Not having any significant statement, any significant presence. I mean, the only thing you the tiebreaker in the Senate, but the motherfuckers, y'all can't even get all the Democrats to agree for you to break the tie.
Yeah.
So you ain't even you can't even do the thing that like the one thing that you could be like, bam, I can decide this. Y'all can't even do that because it's two motherfuckers, Christine Sinema and Joe Manchin ain't giving y'all the opportunity to do that.
I have to Google this now. I have to Google this while Toya was talking. Vice president roles. Other than to succeed the president upon the death or resignation of the president, a vice president's only constitutional duty is to preside over the Senate. Vice presidents cannot vote in the Senate except to break a tie, nor do they formally address the Senate except with the senator's permission. So literally, it's just like,
bro. So she can't even do that. Joe Manchin and Christine Sinema, okay, a black woman could break the tie in the Senate. Two white people ain't even making it possible where it's a tie over bullshit. You feel me? So like it's I think it's a lot that she can still do because the bar is still very fucking low. I think Donald Trump was like a reset on what we find acceptable, and that's the only reason that Joe Biden was a viable candidate for presidency. You know what I'm saying? And
I mean, something to keep in mind is too, like the timeline, like you saying, it's just so much presidency left. Believe it or not, we just voted for these people in November. They just got sworn in January 20th or something like that.
4 years since being sworn in,
and we've just lived a lot of life. You know what I'm saying? They haven't.
It's a lot.
They just haven't had a chance to get to any of these line items. I'm not making excuses for them. I just, objective understanding about what the hell's going on. There's a lot to be seen over the next 3 years or so. So, I mean, but you better show the best parts of it before 2022 because this midterms is about to eat you for lunch. And I can't wait to start really seeing people rear their heads so we can start talking about a lot of that because it's about to get juicy. What I'm anticipating by the time we get to the presidential elections, this is going to be 97 candidates on both sides trying to run for president. Remember when it was 53,000, like 23 Democrats? It's about to be 97,000 Republicans because they all want to beat Donald Trump, and then everybody want to beat this administration and think they got a better idea and a better orientation. So the field is about to be broad for that, and it's about to be mind-numbing and disgusting.
Hey, Joe Biden is doing
that American politics is broke again.
Joe Biden doing so bad that if I was at the age requirement, I fuck around, throw my hat in over there, the Republican Party.
Like, shit, I got a couple years so I can get in the game.
2024, fuck with me.
This is my second plug for Designated Survivor because they are listen, I love the show, but also they play with the idea. Clearly. Well, no, I'm about to make a point though. But they play with the idea for the first time of like realistically having a third party. You know what I'm saying? Like really having an independent president, because as the designated survivor, I don't think I'm giving away too much by saying that he does his job as an independent, and that presents itself with a lot of interesting obstacles and things to navigate. I just wish that we could break out of this two-party system thing. I don't want it to happen the way that it had to happen on the show. I'm not saying that, but I would love for us to get an opportunity.
Don't say that you had CIA, FBI at your door.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that at all, but what I would love to see is an option for people who are tired, who are sick, who are over it, who are disenchanted, who are unplugged, who are waiting for another opportunity because they maybe buy into voting as meaningful because they get that it has implications now, like judges and shit. So like they want to be in the mix, but they don't want to have to deal with and vote for the bullshit they being offered. Like, I really, in an ideal world, we would get there, but we shall see.
With that being said, because I know we could talk about that. You know what I'm saying? But it's not the time or place for that. I wanted to give a couple minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because we are past the hour mark. You feel me? But really, actually, you know what I mean? We've been cooking. We'll let y'all go. We ain't gonna keep y'all too. We ain't gonna keep y'all too. We ain't gonna cook y'all too much longer. But we do have to talk about what's coming up this week. What's coming up this week though, Toya? What's going down this week?
Nothing. Working, doing a little this, little. I'm just playing. Thursday night, me and Vance, in the comments, the homie, friend of the show, fan of the show, are going to have a debate about Black folk getting the COVID vaccine. Right? Like I just mentioned earlier, a lot of people looking at Colin Powell like, you're still dying. Why would I do that? Right? And I still stand by my argument today that despite the variants, despite the deaths of people who have been vaccinated, breakthrough cases, so on and so forth, just go ahead and get that shot. So we're gonna have that conversation on like Thursday night at 7:30 Pacific. So whatever time of your time zone, 9:30, so on and so forth. We really gonna try to get close to being on time. We try not to be late and lag with that. So we're gonna jump on here and get this thing rolling for y'all. So make sure you plug in. It's gonna be structured. It's gonna be formatted. It's gonna be a controlled kind of exchange, right? So that we can really get to the heart of the issue, talk about some things, and move through it. So it ain't gonna be all night. But it'll give both of us a chance to lay some arguments out, to ask each other some questions, and to hopefully inspire you all one way or another to either continue on with the decisions you're making, whether that be get the shot or not, or it could potentially change your mind, get the shot or not. But these are the types of conversations that are valuable between Black folk. And you know, this is what the chop up is all about. This is what it means to chop it up, right? To go back and forth. And you know our background as debaters, so we just about to bring it to you. That's that.
Yeah. So
shout out to Vance, though, for sure.
The Chop Up Show Black People Vaccine Debate will be this week, this Thursday. Like Toya said, at 7:30 Pacific, that's 10:30 Eastern. You know what I'm saying? I know I apologize to my East Coast folk. We be late, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but we're gonna try to get that in on time. We're gonna want to hear from y'all, hear y'all opinion. I ain't really doing like the win. Are we doing like a winner or loser thing? And not really, we just checking out the vibe from the chat. Though a winner or loser thing. Are we just checking out the vibe?
I mean, we typically don't, so I don't want to break form or whatever. I think we just, express yourselves in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Talk about who you think is winning or losing. We're not gonna take an official vote or nothing like that, but we want to hear.
Just get the vibe. We want to know which y'all felt. So
I didn't take any losses before. I ain't scared.
Jonathan, let me tell you something though, fam. Ain't nobody on the show getting paid by nobody to talk about nothing in terms of the vaccine. You feel me? Like we these people that love information, not misinformation, but accurate information.
Listen, George, that's what I'm saying though. Like niggas, like it's comments like that, bro, to where it's just like, yeah, we're getting paid to spread it. All right, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, that wasn't for him. Like the person that made that comment, it wasn't for them. It's people that's watching the show. They might come to the conclusion being like, they talk about the vaccine. Or they get
Jonathan. We correct that. Jonathan, they corrected themselves, not us, the anti-vaxxers. They spread the disinformation.
I'm about to be like, hey, fam. I ain't come crazy though. That's why I'd be like, hey, now.
Yeah. Hey, I was about to come crazy, but we just had a wild week. Like I said, the Dave Chappelle shit. The Dave Chappelle shit had niggas about to pop out. I'm ready, like, fuck. I'm in the comments. What's up? I want all the smoke.
And I'm about to be petty too after this and be like, so the people that say you agree with Dave Chappelle, and we missed the point. How come you ain't mad about him getting the vaccine? 90% of the people that agree with Dave Chappelle is against vaccines. And they opened up the show with talking about getting the vaccine.
But you know what the answer is? His body, his choice. That's what they love to run to. Listen, we don't want to.
Let's not do it.
I'm chilling.
To answer Stephanie's question, yes, it's gonna be on this page. So make sure you come back right here. Anonymous came at us and said we get started around 8. We rebuked that. And this is gonna be a good time. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all plug in. Make sure y'all here 7:30 Pacific, 9:30 Central. Vance, big love. You already know what it is before we get down.
And hold on, it'll be hosted by the Conscious League.
It'll
be hosted by the Conscious League.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah.
And this is after Conscious Conversations on Wednesday night. So y'all make sure Conscious Conversations. Y'all really got a week with us. You know what I'm saying? A lot of conversations with us. You're gonna spend some nights with the Chop Up Show. Y'all hung around the night. Then y'all gonna tap in on Wednesday with Lee for Conscious Conversations, 9:30 Central Time, right? And then you're gonna come back Thursday. You're gonna watch us debate about this vaccine between me and Vance on Thursday. So just put us in, tell people about it since you're gonna be here. Might as well tell your people to pull up where you at. Because it's a Chop Up party. It's Toya G, it's the Conscious League, it's the political plug, and we bring you content all week long. So
for sure. Hey, so y'all stay tuned. Y'all definitely make sure y'all subscribe to the Instagram at the Chop Up Show. Subscribe to the YouTube page if you're on the Conscious League page at the Chop Up Show. If you're on the YouTube page for the Chop Up, go to subscribe to the Conscious League. Y'all know how that go. Anything else that need to be said? That's everything. I hear my son crying. So let's go ahead and end the show the same that we start the show. We out of this thing.
Me, my guys, we really live. Lord, forgive me, pay my tithes. Please don't have me reach inside. And that's in the console. Keep the semi when I ride. Lit off Henny when I drive. In the city, we